What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. It's February 4th, 2026. I am Sean Ross Sapp. This is your AEW Dynamite post-show review. We will be joined shortly by one Alex Pawlowski, but my God, good episode of Dynamite. Crazy finish for Dynamite that I absolutely loved. If you're here, leave a thumbs up. Get your super chats in, get your humper chats in, get your questions or statements right on the air. We had a report that people are already asking about more talent coming into AEW. We will discuss that momentarily. Lots to get into, lots to talk about, but share the video, share the stream, whatever platform you're on. We got it streaming on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. But we also are on podcast platforms everywhere. So if for some reason you haven't left us a nice review on like Apple, Amazon, all that, it really helps us if you guys do. But before this show went on the air, we had a Fightful Select report. In that report, we had noted that AEW is not done signing talent. Now, I'm trying to nail down what talent that might be. But I mean, definitely of note, some free agents that are out there. And we've got Matthew Hook saying, for new women's signings, who are you thinking, Sean? I mean, I will say this. I think that if the inspiration were going to go to WWE, they would have been in the Royal Rumble. Although, you know what? I couldn't think of a better replacement as like NXT GMs than them. But I think there's a real possibility of that. I've noticed some uneven sides on that Harley Cameron Triangle of Madness story that's going there. I could absolutely see something like that. I was also straight up told there are people in AEW that have not been reported to have been signed. And we got Matty Nice asking, is Brian off the road while Bree is active? I don't know that that's the reason. I mean, I had always been told that for a long time he made the shorter trips, like the drives and all that. But like a lot of the longer trips he wouldn't go on. Now, I don't know necessarily where he lives geographically. I thought it was like Arizona or California or something. So this is a show that I probably would have expected him to be at. But her being active doesn't really necessarily affect him that much. I don't think, but we got him here. It's one Alex Pawlowski. Alex, I have some good news for you.
You do?
We finally have some movement on SGS merch.
Fantastic. The people in the SGS will be so happy.
They will be happy. You guys can, of course, go to shop.fightful.com. We got a lot of stuff. I've been meaning to add new designs and everything for a very long time. But we are going to have some new Sour Grap Society merch coming up very soon. Highly in demand. But Alex, AEW Dynamite tonight, how you feeling?
Great. I feel great. I feel great about it.
Love the finish. I'm not one on champions getting beaten usually, but oh boy, we're about to talk about that. What I'm trying to do is start with the most exciting thing, but I can't because other things led up to it. So
yeah,
we're going to go ahead and get into this. My God, man, we got the venue itself at the Palms looks great, Alex. Like I was a big fan of that. Like the platform, not as opposed to the ramp. You got the commentary opposite the hard camera. The hard camera is like actually at the entrance. So you've got that, which I'm sure there's a second one. Fortunately, you can make a hard camera so small these days that it doesn't necessarily interfere with anything, which is kind of nice. But I always love when the venue becomes a bit of the character, Alex.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think it's a really cool place to run. They sold it out. That's always great. Like it looked excellent, unique, and like everyone was there to watch the show. The way that you do it, kind of an amphitheater style seating. That was kind of cool. We're all watching the main event right in front of us. Was very cool. And I thought they utilized the uniqueness of it very well. I was just very pleased with the way everything looked.
Thought it looked great. Brian Carpenter says, random, but any news on a Fight Forever sequel? There is not, but I had been told they own the engine, AEW does. So if they ever want to create something again, they won't have to start completely from scratch. Jambeard says, for me, 3 women to bring in would be Shotzi and Priscilla Kelly as a tag team and Killer Kelly to be paired with Marina for another tag team. I believe that Killer Kelly will eventually be brought in as a tag team wrestler, even on a tiered deal. Alex, the 2 that I am, again, this is not aggregatable. This is not reportable. It looks to me like it's the Iconics that would be coming in because you've got this uneven set with the Harley feud, and we're headed towards Australia. I don't think that's on accident. That's how I feel about it. We've got Lupongi Vice saying, hype to be going to Grand Slam is an understatement at this point. Oh my goodness gracious. What a show that is turning into, Alex.
Yes, they have stacked that card.
They have. Well, I mean, they stacked tonight's card as well. The Don Callis family, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and El Clone defeat the Death Riders, Moxley, Garcia, and Pac. Man, we got people wanting Pac versus El Clone. El Clone has had a really good showing over the last couple of weeks as well. We get those dual hot tags to Takeshita and Mox, but Mox does a beautiful cutter on El Clone. Garcia ends up with the Dragon Tamer on Takeshita, but Mox does the stomp at the same time. And Garcia ends up kicking out of a big knee, but not the Raging Fire, and Takeshita gets the win. I mean, listen, Don Callis family throughout a lot of the last couple of years, up until the last maybe year-ish, or maybe 8-9 months, had been like mid-card to upper mid-card, and Death Riders were pretty protected. This is quite a new era, Alex.
It is. I mean, Garcia isn't that protected in the Death Riders. Him taking the loss, that makes a lot of sense to me. It took a hell of a lot to put him down. Like, all 3 dudes were beating on him, and then that giant running knee from Takeshita he kicked out of, but then he hits the Raging Fire to put him down. They made sure to protect him. Like, it took everything they had to put down Daniel Garcia. I thought that looked good. Moxley was great. The stare down, the face off, the fighting between him and Takeshita. Later they announced that's part of Grand Slam 2, the 1-on-1 for the Continental title. This was all really good. I kind of love that they've just gradually turned the Death Riders into like badass anti-heroes.
Yeah.
And we'd all just accept it. Like, they're not baby faces, but like, we root for them over the Don Callis family. And I think that that's a really good place for the Death Riders to be.
We've got Tony P saying, I have a unique questions about their AEW relationship with JCW and GCW. I noticed that it seems if more AEW talent are working those shows, how would you describe the relationship currently compared to the GCW and with WWE? Well, I mean, there's a better relationship between GCW and AEW, I would say, now than there was a year ago when Tony was pulling people from those shows and all that.
Yeah.
But they aren't going to be using WWE talent anytime soon, unless it's on like Bloodsport or something like that, where they say, let's get somebody featured on WrestleMania week and get like their special WrestleMania moment or something like that. But I do know that there are going to be additional AEW talent there. And some people are saying JCW, GCW, the same thing. Similar. Orange Crush promotes one. Brett promotes the other. But very connected. And we're not talking about the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. But definitely a better relationship than a year ago, for sure. Renee is interviewing Swerve in the back, and he's doing like the meme pose while Prince Nana speaks for him. Swerve is just, we are seeing a shift here in Swerve, Alex. And I mean, I think losing last week was probably a big catalyst in that.
Well, sure. And then like what happens later also is going to color that as well. But I did like him basically like say, so you guys lost your match next week. What are you going to do instead of going after the world title? Which is a very offensive question for Renee to ask Swerve, because Swerve doesn't care about anything else. He wants that. And I like that he let Nana do the answering of that. Our focus is where it's always been. It's going to take us longer to get there, but we're coming after the world title. And that is where Swerve should have his sights set. And I think that's good. And we'll see later what happens to get us a really cool picture of the main event guys just outside of the main event doing stuff with each other until they can get in the main event. Is going to be a lot of fun.
We have the Osprey video package. Now, your boys at FightfulSelect.com reported a couple weeks ago that Will Ospreay was backstage and was starting the process of getting cleared, Alex. I did not expect a Will Ospreay hype package this soon, because I've heard of people that took at least like a month to get cleared. But this is certainly promising, because they don't typically put these out just for no reason if somebody's going to come back in ages and ages and ages, although they tried to make it seem very uncertain on commentary.
They did try to make it very uncertain on commentary. You don't do the video package unless you know he's coming back. Unless when he showed up and the doctors checked him out, he got a clean bill of health, and they're waiting for the right place to bring him back. But you don't want to spoil that and say, March, whatever. We'll see. We'll be back in AEW. You want to get that moment where Elevated plays for the first time and the crowd goes ballistic. So I like that they let us know, he's out there, he's coming back. It'll be good. We're all right. Don't worry about Bill. He's good. I thought that this was really well done. Very touching. Like him in the hospital bed with tears in his eyes, looking up at Alex Windsor. That was very touching. Excellent stuff. Loved it.
Alex, if I had put betting odds on Will Ospreay returning this early when he got hurt, I would not have very high odds. But
probably not. No.
There are great odds on MyBookie AG, especially when you use that code FIGHTFUL and you get a great bet back bonus, including this weekend's game. But Alex, it's not really the game.
No.
Not the Seahawks and the Patriots. We want some national anthem bets. Alex, will the word brave be held for over or under 4.5 seconds? It is very important to note, Charlie Puth is singing the national anthem. I think he's going to be out there aura farming.
Yeah.
I'm going over. At MyBookie AG in the code FIGHTFUL.
Yeah, no, that definitely over 4. Take the over.
And
take the over.
Charlie Puth is going to be hitting that note, bro.
Like, if the over was 8.5, you take it.
Still take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to hold the hell out of that note. I'm going to hammer the over on that.
Yeah.
What color Gatorade do you think is the first poured on the winning coach, Alex?
Oh, that's always difficult. Do the teams usually color code it to their own uniforms? You know what I mean? Because then you got to pick who's going to win.
Gabby of the Gabby AF pod today was on the hump with me, and we said like yellow/green because we think the Seahawks are going to win there.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm rocking with that one. There's a lot of exotic props over at MyBookie AG. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But they have a ton of great bets over there, and their odds are so accurate that people thought we spoiled the Royal Rumble with our thumbnail that Rob Wilkins made, because we just put the betting odds favorites for the Royal Rumble on there this week.
Uh-huh.
Check it out, guys. MyBookie AG. Will Ospreay hopefully returning soon. Very excited to see this possibility. We also had A lot of backstage video segments today. We had MJF, Brody King, Omega, Don Callis, Willow, Harley, Bane, and Penelope. This was something we actually saw a lot of on Collision a couple
Yeah,
years ago.
you see it a lot on Collision. I
I
like it.
kind
I
of
like
dig.
I like giving because it allows, you know what, and good for them. But you know what AEW doesn't have a lot of? Somebody walking slowly to the ring, getting in, aura farming, as you put it, walking over, requesting a microphone, taking it, walking back to the middle of the ring, aura farming some more, and then talking for 4 straight minutes about nothing. And so they don't, a lot of AEW wrestlers don't have a lot of opportunity to show personality if they're not getting straight up mic time. But you give them 15 seconds like to do something backstage before we get a chance to see, okay, I get an idea of who that person is. And really, a lot of times that's all you need to know what these people are about, what they're fighting for tonight. It reminds the people who are tuning in what they're there to watch, what the big matches are. I like it.
I do as well. We got OC and Tony Storm, but the story of this match to me, they defeat Jordan Oasis and someone that I have been just touting for quite a while, Brittany Brooks, who is the girlfriend of Chris Bay, a top prospect in pro wrestling. Shocked that she's not signed already. Looks like $1 million, can work. Very entertaining. I thought did well here. Glad to see her getting featured. There was a spot in this match that I don't know if a lot of people understood the motivation behind it. And it was the opening spot between Jordan Oasis and Orange Cassidy. They are in Las Vegas, the home of Power Slap, Alex. So Jordan Oasis measured for a good old power slap there, and Orange Cassidy took control. Obviously, Orange Cassidy, Tony Storm win this. You got Tony Storm wearing the denim there as well. This is a good. I'm glad to see a little squash match here. We'll talk about the aftermath afterwards, but let's talk about the squash match itself, Alex.
It's fine. The OC and Tony thing is a fun little pairing while you're not having them do anything of consequence, because it keeps your big stars on the show. That's fine. Is Mina hurt? Because I was really enjoying the timeless love bombs, and I thought it was more of a throuple thing that they were doing, like Mina being jealous of OC and OC trying to win her over. I thought that was the deal here, and we haven't seen Mina in a bit, and I miss her.
Yeah, she was around. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago. I'll see what I can find out. But
anyway, I thought this was good. OC looking at the bald head of his opponent and thinking, "Oh my God, that could be me." And not wanting it to be him, and him being kind of haunted by that. But I like the match was always going to be a squash. Anytime you say 2 of our biggest stars are in action, you know what that match is going to be, and that's what it was. But a lot of it is afterwards, with Tony's promo about what we might look like bald, or what they're going to look like bald.
Jordan Oasis, by the way, who was on Evolve quite a bit last year, but Orange Cassidy was like, man, I like my hair. And I loved how they set up the terror of how they would look bald, because Tony was like, I'd be hideous. I'd be ugly. And then they cut to Luther's
like, I'm right here.
Yes.
I'm right here. What are you doing?
I also like that they teased the possibility of giving Wheeler Yuta a comb over. Because, listen, that would, if you give somebody a good skullet, I think you have to keep the haircut you get that night.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, a reverse
I think it should
mohawk.
Be mandatory.
A reverse mohawk for Wheeler Yuta, just a stripe down the back would be really good.
Oh my God. Yeah, but that was also fine. Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats, my friends. We would greatly appreciate it. Jambeard says, pretty sure the Gatorade is usually orange for the Super Bowl. I need to look into that. Tom LaValle says, banger show, SGS merch coming soon. Let's go. Yeah, we got it coming. Actually, we're going to send it to Kate and Alex for the approval and all that good stuff. But
awesome.
Tony is fearful that she is going to look like an angry penis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you who was angry.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Let's. Of course, Mina is injured. Her heart is broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking of angry people, Gabe Kidd is always angry. Doesn't matter what's going on. Gabe Kidd is angry.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I can only assume he signed something with AEW. I sure hope so.
Yeah.
But Fightful Select did confirm that Clark Connors is being signed by AEW.
Yeah.
And these two gentlemen just beat the brakes off of Darby. And then later on, drag him into the desert, Alex. They made full use of the environment here.
They did.
I guess when in Vegas, use the Vegas surroundings. I like them taking the show out of the arena. I like them utilizing that. I get the feeling you like harm being done to Darby.
Well, here's the deal. What I love about it is that this is Darby's fault. Because when he was having a brawl with Gabe Kidd, he sprayed him in the face with fire, I believe is what happened.
Yes.
And then he put Gabe Kidd in a body bag and drove off, dragging the body bag behind him at a high rate of speed. And so that's what's called a just revenge on Darby Allin, gotten by Gabe. He said it when he was in the truck. Does anybody not remember how Darby did that exact same thing to me? This is just the chickens coming home to roost, so to speak. But my thought was, because they apparently have dragged him out in the body bag. They dragged him out into the thing. There's a rope connecting the trunk of the car to the body bag, and Clark Connors walks over there with a machete and chops the rope. And then they get in the car, and I was like, "You have a machete, Clark Connors." Like, Darby Allin probably can survive in the desert for weeks without food or water. He's, you know what I mean? Like, you use the machete. If it was me and I was Gabe Kidd and I wanted to get revenge on Darby, I drop him off the Hoover Dam. That's also near Las Vegas. You know what I mean? If I was Gabe Kidd and I wanted to get revenge, all I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing Gabe Kidd pop up again and ruin Gabe Kidd's day. Like Darby Allin is going to jump out of something and take out Clark Connors. He'll probably set somebody on fire because that's his kink. It's fine. But listen. Well, here's what I got to say. Gabe Kidd, no half measures. Either get the job done or don't do the job at all.
C. Delgado says, how much did Alex pay to have Darby murdered?
Not enough, because they didn't get the job done.
We have a Kevin Knight video package. Josh D says, these MFs spitting. Great show tonight. Love the production. Love the packages. Oh, and the video packages. He was a big fan of the video packages, obviously. And I was too.
Yes.
Meet Norma says, tonight's Dynamite was 20 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. From the venue to the promos and in-ring, chef's kiss. Shout out to Vegas for the F-Ice chant. That could have been on the main event there, Luis. But, yeah, this packed a lot of stuff into one show. AEW King says, here from Australia, 1:33 p.m. Friday. It's so hot here. I mean, I will say this. The Australia time zone was always such a tough one for me. Like when coordinating anything with Anna, like that poor girl was up in the morning watching SmackDown during the Jinder era.
It was really unfair to her.
It really was. I'm not surprised she was like, we got to wrap this shit up. She was like, I got to get out of the business. Oh my God. Somebody says, it's Thursday. Man, this guy's a time traveler. Love for Boost says Darby pulls a Clark and climbs the dam.
Right. Climbed Everest. Climbing a dam shouldn't be that difficult.
Jambeard says, why does it feel like this might be a setup for a coffin match between Darby and Gabe? That was Clark. Can ask what's in the puck. That way, Clark. And ask what's in the box.
What's in the box?
Oh man, I like this segment though. I thought it went well, and again, you got to have Gabe being as unhinged as humanly possible. I think, like I feel like that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman Page defeated Mark Davis. Listen, this went a lot longer than I thought it would. Mark Davis got an awful lot here. They had a sirloin beef sons of bitch match here, Alex.
They did. I love Hangman throwing giant lariats to just bounce off of Mark Davis. He's a big dude. And the thing about Mark Davis is he's good enough to be one of your best big men. And all you got to do is just say, okay, we're going to let him be one of our best big men. Like a lot of it is like, well, he's a tag guy and the secondary tag guy. He shouldn't be, lasting this long against a world champion. Well, maybe he's pissed off because he lost another tag partner and he's pissed off about what the Death Riders did to him, and he wants to take it out on Hangman, and like he wants to soften up Hangman for his boy Andrade. Like, I understand why. I'm not saying you book him to win, but you could book him to be respectable in the match, and they did. Like, almost everybody kicks out of a Deadeye. I was glad they also had Mark Davis kick out of the Deadeye, because it's been established that it rarely, unless it's off the apron through a table, it's been established that that people kick out, not all the time, but 90% of the time they kick out of the Deadeye, and then Hangman goes for the buckshot, and that's how he wins, and that's how he won this match. And I thought it was well done. I thought it made Davis look respectable. I hope they keep him looking respectable. I don't know if there's another dude within the Don Callis family that can be his tag partner while Doyle heals up. But you got to keep Davis in the TV match rotation, because he's very, very good in these TV matches. And I think that you could do a lot with him.
And my hope is, like, maybe I believe Jake Doyle had this injury prior as well. And like, I would like to think that he knows the rehab process probably better than he did before. And, maybe it will be a little bit of a more easy recovery, because I believe he missed, it was from late January to mid-May last time.
Okay.
So about 3.5 months. I mean, it's going to suck, but hopefully he can be back. And yes, Brian Cage is hurt, for those people, for those asking. Hangman did a couple of great moonsaults as well. Mark Davis has a fantastic enziguri, but Hangman meets the winner of Omega Andrade at Grand Slam Australia, which is immediately a big match, immediately a huge match. And Hangman wants to face Omega next week and says that MJF has little balls.
Yes. I really enjoyed him because there was something there was alarm bells ringing in my head that I thought that Andrade was winning this match. And I love that they had basically Hangman cut the promo to Omega. I can't wait to face you again in Australia, and then pull the bait and switch and had Andrade win the match with Omega. I thought that was, and with a lot of really good story-centric, character-enriching shenanigans to lead to it.
Jason Kramer says Gabe Kidd had the perfect opportunity to get Rampage back on the air, and he played a video.
It's true. He could have done it. He had the power.
Oh, Jesus Christ. One LT photo says Darby would just skate down the dam.
You don't give him access to a skateboard. That's easy.
Oh, Jesus. We have a Statlander segment backstage teasing the stipulation for next week's rematch with Tekla, but she does not reveal what it is. Renee Paquette is particularly perturbed. She thought she was going to get a big scoop here. She did not. Chris Statlander says, no scoop for you. And that doesn't happen. But any thoughts on what the stipulation match might be, Alex?
I love your Seinfeld reference there.
Yes,
that's
course.
very good. What the stipulation might be?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably going to be something like a steel cage match, but hey, Texas Death. Just do a Texas Death between these two women? Hell yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be something involving, something hardcore, using weapons, things like that, something brutal. There's gonna be a little velvet bag filled with something that we think is thumbtacks, but it's something else instead. You know,
Yeah.
I think that could be a lot of fun. I like her waiting to give us that info on Collision. Another reason to watch Collision beyond the thing they announced, which is Tommaso Ciampa versus Roderick Strong versus Claudio. Last night on NXT, Booker T said it was a world record that Izzy Dame defended her title within 27 days of having won it. That's what he said on television. And Tommaso Ciampa won it last Saturday, and this Saturday he's facing both Roderick Strong and Claudio. So, I mean, I feel like, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But I'm like, Collision now, even a taped Collision is appointment viewing with the stuff they're booking for that as well.
Congrats on your world record, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
Jambeard says, hear me out. Eventually we need a D&D versus Cage and Hammerstone tag match. I mean, listen, that'd be a lot of freaking meat right there.
That would be.
I think actually Hammerstone would be a great addition to the Don Callis family. I don't know why Richard Holiday isn't signed anywhere either, but Andrade El Idolo. Alex, his newest AEW run is immediately better than his entire most recent WWE run. He beat in back-to-back weeks Swerve and Kenny Omega. And we'll talk about the post-match after that. But they are very clearly in on Andrade.
And with good reason.
And Andrade has said, I want to be here for the rest of my career. I want to retire here. He's got the El Idolo section. So they kind of took Los Lotharios and the baddies and sort of molded them. But, Andrade attacked Omega right in the diverticulitis, which, is important. But Andrade goes to bridge up on the figure 4, which his ex-wife used to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Or does, and gets reversed. Don hands Andrade a screwdriver, but Swerve intervenes. Aubrey starts arguing with Swerve. It allows Andrade to low blow Kenny for the win, right in the penis. So you got penis attacks, you got diverticulitis attacks, and you get something really cool out of this. I think you accomplished an awful lot of things here, Alex. You had a great match. You are straight up entrenching Andrade as a top guy, as one of the top guys that everybody has always said, man, he sure seems like he could be a top guy. And for some reason, it never happened. And 2 weeks in, they're saying, yeah, to hell with all that other stuff. Yeah. This guy is going to be one of our top guys. And then you're setting up Kenny and Swerve, which, again, we'll talk about after this. Yeah. Oh, my God, Alex.
Yeah.
They're going to the moon with him.
Right. We were talking about aura farming. That man doesn't need to farm aura. He grows it naturally out of his own body. Like, that man has so much aura. The presence of him, just the way he does, like him like seeing the baddie section of Andrade and be like, no, I couldn't possibly pose for a photo with you ladies. Then he gets in the ring and 5 seconds later he hits a beautiful tornado on Kenny friggin' Omega, by the way, and then he goes over and poses while the ladies run their fingers all over his chest. Like, this guy is, and the best part about it is the way that he's doing it. It doesn't feel heelish. Like, oh, we don't like that guy. He's not ravishing Rick Ruding it from like 1990. Like, we actually go, that dude's cool. That dude's really cool. To the point where I'm like, I see people saying, listen, just do it. Have him win against Hangman, then have him beat MJF. He's never going to be hotter than he is right now. And on that last point, I think I would agree. I don't know how you could be hotter than he is right now. I don't know that I would have him beat MJF, though. But he's doing amazing. And he's immediately putting himself on the echelon of the top guys. He is taking his claim. If I am not world champion by March, I'll be world champion by June. And if I'm not world champion by June, I'll be world champion by September. And if I'm not world champion by December, then I'm sorry, like something's gone wrong. You have to figure out a way to make that dude, if not a world champion, then the secondary one, the international one, at some point during 2026, and keep him as hot as you possibly can while doing it, because you want to introduce a new top guy to the field of top guys, including Swerve, Hangman, MJF, Kenny Omega during his last big run, Will Ospreay when he comes back. You want to be able to look at the top 10 guys in AEW and go, any one of these dudes could carry our company for a full year. And Andrade is doing the stuff that will allow him to be put comfortably in that top 10 level. This is S-tier elite stuff in AEW.
Thank you, Tim Traver, for the gifted memberships. And thank you to our good friend Demon Diva, who says, that's my champ, but I'm biased. I work there. Talking about Andrade in his WWC work. Alex, one of the things I have loved so much about Gunther's career killer run is what else can you have him do? He has been a multiple-time world champion. He is the greatest intercontinental champion of all time. Go to hell, honky tonk, man. He's had the NXT UK championship for like a year. And so you got to have things for him to do. And him ending careers or threatening to end careers is a great thing, where naturally there's a Randy Orton setup. And then when he beats all these people or threatens all these people with, again, a just stable of potential retirees, there's natural things there.
So many.
It's a very unique era for him. And I'm glad that he has it. But you got to have interesting things for those people to do. Same with Kenny Omega and Swerve. Like, I actually like that everybody's focus is on the world championship right now. It makes the world championship feel very important. Whereas the last time that MJF had it, it felt important because of him and Adam Cole, but they felt like they were on an island of their own. And nobody else was that worried about it. Then the injury happened. Then the bad creative at Full Gear happened. Now it feels like everybody cares about the world championship. Hangman cares. Swerve cares. Kenny cares. Andrade cares. Brody King cares. All these people. And as a result, Don Callis cares. And if Don Callis cares, there's like 15 people in his stable that care as a result. So every character on the show has some sort of motivation around the top prize on the show, which is important. And what's happening subsequently underneath, people are winning matches, and it is important. It feels more important.
It does.
Now, we'll talk about the title situation later on, but Amanda says, loving that Andrade has resurrected the baddie section. So glad he's back. Me too. We got Damn It Smidget saying Omega beats MJF, then loses to Ospreay at All In. I can see that be the path. Maybe Andrade takes it off Ospreay. I could see that as well. I think this is the year that Ospreay wins the world title at All In, especially if he's able to stay healthy, Alex.
He can. Yep.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. I think that it's, especially because he had this thing with his neck. You know what I mean? You don't know, like, if he's able to come back at full strength, you don't want to tempt fate again. You put off him being the world champion for like 2 years. It's time for him to be the world champion. Either he somehow wins it before and brings it into Wembley and wins there and continues the run, or he wins it at Wembley. I don't think, if he's healthy, I don't think you have other options. That has to be what you do with him.
Miss Omega fan says, hi, Sean and Alex. Freaking loved the match between Kenny and Andrade. Should have been the main event, in my opinion. Swerve versus Omega getting me excited. Stipulation for Revolution. Winner faces MJF at Dynasty. Kenny wins there and then wins the belt in Canada. So, I mean, I understand why somebody named Miss Omega fan would say it should be the main event. But also, I do think the world champion getting absolutely mauled is main event cool, like stuff. But we'll Miss Omega fan, I think this is a realistic path. But we Kenny and
I
Swerve.
definitely think Kenny should get the title shot at Dynasty in Vancouver, Canada, for sure.
I'm all for this Swerve Omega thing. Alex. Like,
The,
so ready
the
for this.
I don't remember, apologies to somebody in the SGS Discord who pitched a uh the Don Callis family gets involved in Hangman versus Andrade, and Swerve comes out to make sure none of that happens, as well as Omega to follow Swerve because he doesn't like, or Omega comes out and Swerve follows him because they don't like each other. All of that leads to Andrade doing the same thing he has been doing and going for the low blow and getting the win there, which leads to Hangman, Swerve, and Omega in a triple threat at Revolution for the world title shot at Dynasty. And I feel
Omega
like
ain't working Revolution.
Well, that's too bad.
He's not wrestling at Revolution. He'll be at Revolution. He's not wrestling at Revolution. I don't think. Right. I don't think. But we'll see. Tom LaValle says, speaking of champs, Allie Albright in the chat. She is a champ. One of my faves. I'm going to go see her at Girl Fight Wrestling February 15th. If you are near the area, New Albany, Indiana, Louisville area, go check out Girl Fight Wrestling. Very excited what Billy Starks is doing there. She's bringing a lot of great stuff to the area. Jambeard says Zack Ryder won the IC title on a Sunday, lost it on a Monday. World record.
Apparently that doesn't count in Booker T's mind.
Also, you know, Drew McIntyre winning the title and defending it immediately
afterwards against Big Show. Yeah.
Yes. Or even against Damian Priest.
That's true.
Didn't successfully defend it, but still did.
That is also, yep.
Honkin' Amazing says Andrade is the modern Rick Rude, and I love it. I do too. I think he just does a great job. Megabad defeated the Babes of Wrath. Got a lot of feelings about this, Alex. I feel like when you're trying to get your tag team division going, you could simply have a number one contender match here. It was a good match. Love for Boost says women's tag slapped. Love AEW fans. F Ice. I feel like it would have just been better to get two new teams on TV or two teams vying for this instead of having a show where two sets of champions lose on the same show.
Especially since when Harley got pinned, the first thing they said is, well, you almost never see these Eliminator matches pay off. What a rarity, knowing full well that they were going to do it again at the end of the show. I guess as also a misdirect. But yeah, I don't ever need to see, like, especially twice on the same show, an Eliminator match. And if the challengers beat the champs when it doesn't count, then they get a match where it does count. It just feels, I don't know, like the easiest way to get to where you want to go. And I understand, hey, we want to get Harley on the card at Grand Slam, and I'm fully in on that. And if you want them to face Meganelope, which is a much better name than Megabad, if you want them to face Meganelope, then you could figure out a way for Meganelope to beat another top tag team to get there. But this match was great. And it makes me think that the match they have in Grand Slam will be very good, just with probably, I'm not saying 100%, but probably a reverse of who picks up the victory. It's fine. It's one of those things where I didn't love when Willow, as the tag champ, became the TBS champ, because what's going on with the TBS belt right now? Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing. You could easily be doing an alternate program for another lady facing whoever is the TBS champion right now that's not Willow. That could also be going on in the background, having matches to set up who's the new challenger of that. Because when you have somebody having both things, then you just have that person on TV, and you don't have extra people vying for two titles.
I feel like there are too many titles and not enough women booked on AEW TV. Yeah. Chi-Town Spurs says both challengers winning their eliminators was a welcome change, both clean. Shout out to the Vegas crowd for that chant in the main. This could have went to the main event segment, but yes, lots of fuck Ice chants, of which I am fully supportive. But yeah, we get mega bad against the Babes of Wrath at Grand Slam Collision, which obviously, listen, Harley's winning that match. Harley's getting the pin there.
She's getting that pin. Yeah.
She's going to get that pin there. We get the video package of Ciampa winning the TNT title on Collision. Fitzgerald says, roster so deep, they randomly drop Ciampa versus Claudio versus Strong on Collision. Holy graps. So on FightfulSelect.com, we had reported like a big part of this was to freshen up Collision was a lot of the roster additions, Rascals and Tommaso Ciampa and so many others. And I think they have done a very, very good job of that, honestly.
Yes, I agree.
I'll tell you who else does a great job. NordVPN.com/Fightful. You want to watch all WWE content on one Netflix subscription? Go over there, NordVPN.com/Fightful. Click the Get the Deal button. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee over there. You can choose your plan on any device, any operating system. A whole bunch of one account gets 10 devices covered. They got over 10 years of experience. They've won a bunch of awards, but you can choose your plan. You can see all the great options. And look at this. NordVPN is how this gentleman watches AEW. But the plans range from right now $2.31 a month on average, all the way up to $6.33, which is less than one of these streaming services that you don't need and would have to pay for just to watch Saturday night's main event or whatever that may be. You can get AEW pay-per-views at a much more affordable price. And if you're overseas, you can get UFC at a much more affordable price now as well, because you're still paying for pay-per-views, and we got it on Paramount Plus over here. Please check it out. Just a lot of great options over at NordVPN. I truly love it. They've got scam call protection, password managers, cloud storage, all that. Meet Norma says, Norded my TV to Lithuania for Dynamite. No ads. There you go. If you use Nord, hit us up in that chat. Oh, man. Ricochet against Jungle Jack Perry. I almost forgot this championship existed until Ricochet's scathing media tour.
Ooh.
On WWE, where he says it tarnished his legacy and affected his love for pro wrestling. And listen, I saw a lot of people in their feels about it. And I'm like, guys, did we not just see a Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian promo on TV where they literally both said we were in the same place? It took our love for wrestling away. It's going to happen in every company. Mm-hmm. You're going to have people like that.
Yeah.
Just like, man, guys, get used to it. There's going to be people that get used better in some places than the other places. It happens, right. Alex.
Uh-huh. And you know, somebody's going to be like, okay, well, I enjoyed my time more here than elsewhere. And the same say like, well, that's funny, because when I was over there, I enjoyed my time a lot less. Huh. Interesting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As opposed to like, oh God, no! How dare he? Like, I mean, it's
unbelievable.
It's totally fine. And listen, it's just I felt like I didn't enjoy myself while I was there. I don't know how that affects you hearing that. You know what I mean? Like that's a different thing. But I thought he was entirely justified in. I perceived, while I was watching him on the main roster, it doesn't feel like he's having a good time. Yeah. Like I even just in NXT, it felt like he was a more effervescent than he ever was on the main roster. So I could see it. So I'm glad that I was right when I was perceiving that.
He defeated Jungle Jack Perry as he gets some help from GOA, and then the Young Bucks make the save with chairs. Alex?
I always love when I see something I've never seen before. The distraction from Khan to Rick Knox. And then Toa Leone. And while that's happening, him passing out in the snare trap. Ricochet passing out. He was dead weight. And Toa Leone reaches in there, grabs him by the wrist, and drags him over to the rope, and then puts his hand on the bottom rope. Like, I've never seen, like, I'm going to save my stablemate from losing because he passed out. by putting his hand on the bottom rope. I've never seen that before.
Or
and
me,
that,
apparently.
Or I've never seen you before. I feel like I feel like I'm not wearing my glasses when I look at you right now.
Trying to focus here. It's not working.
You're not working. It's not working. But I really liked that. But this was the second time in a row that we saw baby faces come down to the ring to try and save other baby faces in their match from the heels doing dastardly things, and then that led directly to the baby faces losing the match because the refs got distracted by all that stuff.
I got people saying, thanks, Luis. I didn't fucking know. Thanks for letting me know.
So this is like when you go to the eye doctor and say better one or better two, better one or better two, better two, better two.
This is one of the most expensive webcams on the market, by the way. It is a 4K camera.
I can see literally every curve in your knuckles when you put your
but my face, right?
Your face? No, you're not your face. I can see. Wow, that's yep. Well manicured and everything. Yeah, we're back. We're back, everybody. I also liked him, Ricochet draping the belt over the middle turnbuckle and just slamming Perry's head into it. That was the thing I like. I hadn't seen that specific thing before. I like seeing new stuff, and I think Ricochet looked great here, and so did Perry. Really a better match than I thought it was going to be.
Dave Koss says, I echo you guys on the Eliminators TBS title issues, but that was my favorite episode in months. I thought it was paced really well. Andrade Kenny was a genuine shock for me, and Ricochet Jack stood out. Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree with that. Title match there. It was loaded up on important stuff. I feel like I would have enjoyed it even more if it was simply two top contenders competing against each other in the tag team division, of which Willow already compromises 2 championships. So why would you have a person who holds 2 championships take up a loss?
Yeah.
Where you could just have a new team in there, have another team, put somebody else. Fitzgerald says SRS with potato quality camera. It was not, though. It was not, though. Fitzgerald says main event scene is cooking, but everything else is simmering. Laughing emoji. Too many titles makes things feel less important. Love Ricochet, hate the title. I feel that way as well. Oh yeah, they're doing the Continental match with Takeshita and Moxley because Moxley's got a damn belt too, right? Like,
yep.
There's too many of them. There's too many damn championships. I don't need it. I don't need it. Tim Traver says, "Hey guys, F Ice. I'd love to see AJ versus MJF. Book it, Tony. That's a match that nobody talks about, and I think it would be really, really great. I think that MJF could actually cut some good promos on AJ and set up something really fun there.
For sure."
Noise says, did my astigmatism get worse than it actually was, or has reality changed permanently to censor Sean's face? It happens a lot with this camera, and I don't know what it is, guys. Like, maybe it's because I've got busy things. Like, I've got the mic right here, so maybe if I keep it down here, it won't go out of focus as much.
Yeah,
I think that's probably it, because it tries to focus on other things.
Yeah,
I feel like. Jambeard says Sean is one of those people on a doc who's telling a story but doesn't want to be identified.
That's right.
That's me. N. Simmons says, really enjoyed that Ricochet interview. The main event scene is packed, but I hope TK can put him in the All-Atlantic title picture and be an upper mid-card guy and give that title some shine. I'm very confused by that message. I'm like, I don't know if that's a bit or what.
It might be. I think it might be a bit. I think he knows it's not the Atlantic title anymore. I think he's just making a joke about how many ridiculous titles there are.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they said we're going to split it. Oh, loved the MJF Brody King thing. You get the fuck ice chants, the crowd's barking. They love Brody King. And before they get out there, or before the match starts, Hangman's music hits. And MJF gets distracted and is hung just like he was before and is pretty much out. Pretty much out. Brody throws MJF in the ring, Gonzo bomb, cannonball, all that stuff. And there's a squash on the world champion. This is one that I didn't have a single issue with. I thought MJF played his role incredibly well. Brody gets a huge win. You see that he can win in this amount of time. If you're ever going to do it like this, it is sort of that, oh my God, could it have been a fluke situation? Brody's most, and here's the thing. This is Brody's longest match of his last like 4 or 5 matches because he's won in like 20, 30 seconds every time.
It's true.
I thought this was great. Let's talk about the match itself, Alex, before we get to the after stuff.
Listen, Brody King is one of those guys who is always going to be, you know, intimidating and feel like a guy who you should worry about. He's big and he's hairy and he's covered in tattoos. He's like if King Kong worked for the Yakuza. You're scared of this dude, and you should be. And I think it was when they started the match at like after 9 p.m. Central, after 10 p.m. Eastern, I was like, how long is the overrun? And because it didn't feel like they were, you know, like, oh God, we're desperately out of time. But we like, and so they also said this is our last break before everything after this is going to be all commercial free. I was like, something's up. And then Hangman comes out, and I'm like, okay, so this is how they're going to get the and what I like about it is we're getting a world title match between Brody King and MJF, and we've still never seen them wrestle a full match against each other. And so this, because I don't love eliminator matches just as a thing of, I've already seen you if the challenger wins it, I've already seen you wrestle probably 12 to 15 minutes against the champion and beat them. The second time I get to watch it will be next week, and it'll be fresh in my memory. And like, there's diminishing returns. Every time I see a rematch, it somehow it's less. So I would rather do something like this, where it whets the appetite, lets you know Brody is not to be messed with. He can if he gets that chokehold on Max is knocked out. Max can't recover from that. That's a really cool little wrinkle to put into this. I love that it's Hangman who comes out and laughs about it. He'd probably rather face Brody King anyway because he doesn't like Max. This is some good stuff. This is really good. And then I did really love the post-match. Everybody who comes out who does not like MJF.
Josh D says, for Alex, my shadow knows some Brody. Other Mikey V says, greatest eliminator match of all time from Brody. Chad enjoys sailing says, greatest chant in wrestling history for them. Jordan says, fun show. They're going to have Brody squash MJF like that. I need it to happen in Australia too, unless Buddy is coming back. Doubtful. Need new champions for that title. Only 9 champs in their history since 2019. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I don't think that there's anything wrong with there being 9 champions in 6.5 years, really. I don't have a problem with that at all. Like different champions, that is, because you've had more reigns there.
But you have the opportunity with so many guys who can be top guys. You have the opportunity to do a year. I'm not saying it has to be 2026, but you have the opportunity to do one where like 8 guys hold the title.
I agree.
Because there's so much parity at the top. Any of these guys on any given Sunday, as they say, could beat any of the other guys. I think there's an awesome opportunity with the parity to be able to do that.
You do have all the people coming out, Andrade and Hangman. Hangman buckshots Andrade after Andrade cracked Brody with the elbow. MJF is low blowing Hangman, and then Brody recovers and hits his finish on MJF again to stand tall with the championship in hand, Alex.
Yep. Yeah. This is really, really good stuff. I think that they've really, really put together an amazing Grand Slam for Australia. I think it's like what a great show that's going to be. Amazing stuff on it, and I think that they've done a very good job of building this. What like so much of the stuff is when we see a lot of the time when we see like two major events that a company is doing within a month of each other,
Yeah.
they can't start building the second one until the first one is over. But they've done a really good job of like using the first one to build the second one and doing it in a way that like all the stuff leading up to the first one is important. Last week, Andrade and Swerve was important because it led to Andrade Omega this week. You know what I mean? And then you get that first big event of Andrade and Hangman. And whoever wins that, you've set that in the first big event that everyone's tuning into because the match is going to be so good, but also because the stakes are so high. And the stakes lead directly to the second big event at Revolution. I think that they've done a really great job of walking that tightrope while working both of those events into big time deals.
Jules Mack says the world title picture in AEW is insane. All the killers going after MJF rules. That's how I feel as well. Because everybody is interested in becoming the champion, it adds this huge importance to it, Jules. That's what I was talking about earlier, and I probably should have applied that earlier, that chat earlier when I spoke about it. But it makes it feel so much more important, and I think that you need that. Especially when you have so many championships, of which I do not like. But N. Simmons says, sorry for the confusion. I meant the title that Okada is holding that's never on TV. I would love to see Ricochet hold that belt in the upper card unless it's combined again. There are too many titles. Brother, I'm with you. Sorry for the confusion. I just, when I think about all the championships, I get a little bummed out. I'm like, oh, man.
Yep.
Okay. Jambeard says AJ Styles versus Takeshita, Alexander, Samoa Joe again, Hangman, Brody King, Bandito. Somebody in our chat for a while pitched that it should be Joe, AJ, and Ospreay as Daniel's conduit in the running it back from 21 years ago type of match. And I would love that.
That would be pretty great. Yeah.
Kyrick says, hi, boys. Hope the show was fun. Hope you both are well. Well, we hope you're well as also, Kylie. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But Alex, any thoughts as we wrap up this post-Dynamite show?
I think I'm so impressed with how they have built to Grand Slam next week. Like,
Me too.
It's one of those things where, like, am I going to use my wonderful NordVPN to try and figure out a way to get up super early and watch this live so it doesn't get accidentally spoiled for me before I watch it later that night, because everything seems like I'm really, really excited for the possibilities that are going from here. And I know the matches are going to be great. And then I just love that immediately after that, you can really ramp up everything for Revolution, which looks like it's going to be another fantastic AEW pay-per-view. The one thing I will say, and that I keep coming back to it, is I feel like you can get the women on TV more, especially if you figure if Mega Bad ends up winning the titles from Willow and Harley. The best thing about it will be that Willow can focus on the TBS title and get more women on television coming after that title as well.
Guys, I did the hump today with Gabby of the Gabby AF pod. I thought it was one of the best episodes we've done in the last 4 or 5 months. I thought that we just had a wonderful show. We had Chris Van Vliet on last week. Next week, we're going to have Shaquille Majuri. The week after that, it'll be a Tuesday edition with Brian Zane. So lots of people coming there. But FightfulSelect.com, my friends. Exclusive news all day, every day. Tomorrow, it's WrestleVotes Radio with a bunch of stories coming from that. The Debunkathon on Friday, and it don't stop. We got tons of stuff for you guys at FightfulSelect.com. So we would appreciate if you guys would directly support us in that manner. It helps us sustain our staff as much as possible. But Alex Pawlowski is also over there doing an awful lot of sour graps. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah, we do always do the Raw reviews on Monday with Kayfabe, stuff on the weekends, whatever's going down. We have last weekend we did our most famous gimmick, the one everyone loves so much, where the Saudi shows come around. I don't watch, and Kate does, and then she tells me what happens, and I have to guess if she's lying or not. It was a lot of fun this past week. It is in the archive, so you can go and find that. And yeah, every Tuesday night on this particular YouTube channel, we do the NXT review. Joe Hendry, if you believe in him or not, he's there, and he's the champion. So we'll be talking about that going forward. Should be a lot of fun.
We do have our Fightful Espanol Twitter back. Also announced on this show next week on Dynamite, a three-way tag team top contenders match between winners of GOA Young Bucks, the Rascals, and a wild card team. I would like to see Private Party back in the fold after a year.
That would be really cool to bring them
after
back
a year. Guys, thank you all so much. Check us out on all podcast platforms and leave us a nice review. We are out.